Hey Tube Tech students, looking for a way to support the channel and stay safe this holiday season? Well, why not check out the limited edition Diddles and Didlet Padodu mask. These masks will only be available from
Princess won't be left out anymore!
The trio is finally complete. Princess has officially joined the Padodu crew. She's only available from November 30th to December 26th, so get her while you can. How's it going, Tube Tech students? It's your boy Diddles, and I would like to welcome you back to DDLC Plus. Now, after talking it over with a friend, I've come to the decision this series is just going to be the side stories. You've seen the story plenty of times. I'd probably just end up making the same jokes other people have made and just read the same stories. So off camera, I'll run through the story and do everything I did to get the perfect ending in the base game. I mean, honestly, I could just make that an episode and just show you guys exactly what I do, so wouldn't be too hard. But yeah, we're just gonna focus on the side stories, and with that in mind, we're going to jump into Trust Part 2. Oh my gosh, I'm so ready for this. I'm so ready for this. Oh wait, we got more pictures and music. What pictures did we get? Oh, that Monica. That's the one I keep seeing online everywhere. And look at her, she's so cute. The fuck did you just say to me? Finish the side story, Trust 1, okay. This is Take My Hand. This is Become the Flower. I'll probably use this in editing the first one. And just scroll through. Probably. Most likely not. I'm lazy. Ooh. Oh, that was different. All right, bet. That's cool. I like that. Was she? No, Yuri's standing farther back. Don't worry about that. I still love this specifically. I love this concept art. It's so cool. I love that. Yes. Oh no! Alright. With all of that being done, we're gonna jump straight into Trust Part 2. Don't get wet, please. Mmm. Delicious. Alright. Let's go. Oh. Don't fall out, baby. Another day passes in a flash, and it's already time for the next club meeting. Although Monica should have come up with a plan for today's club task, she hasn't been able to shake her guilt and anxiety after reading Sayori's poem. Oh, I'm so stupid. How did I let myself be the center of attention? Sayori's going through all these kinds of feelings, and I'm letting her comfort me instead of the other way around. What kind of club president does that? New Five Guys, okay. This whole time, I didn't think to ask about her own feelings. So much for the stupid vision. Sayori enters the club room with her usual smile, but upon seeing the downcast Monica, her smile quickly fades into an expression of concern. Monica? Is everything okay? I'm really sorry. I'm such a terrible friend. Huh? What are you talking about? You're an amazing friend. Monica shakes her head. I made this all about myself. Even you said so yesterday. You told me that I'm trying to make the club that I need the most, right? But my problems are so trivial compared to yours. Sayori responds quietly. What are you talking about? But as she says that, her face darkens. Through the silence, Sayori mutters her realization. I left my folder here. Monica stares blankly ahead, unable to come up with a response. I wasn't ready to share those. Now you're worrying about me. I don't want that. But why? We're friends, right? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Friends look out for each other. I want to be here for you as much as you're here for me. Another long moment passes in silence. The air is incredibly heavy. This is different. It wasn't just about you yesterday. It was about the club. Besides, things were so happy yesterday. You don't need to do this all of a sudden. I don't want it. I like happy. So, if you do this, then you're just being selfish. Monica massages her forehead, struggling through the frustration of such a paradox. It's understandable that Sayori isn't ready to share certain things. But, as unfair as it is for Monica to pry, it's also painful for Monica to force herself to ignore the needs of her friend. I'm sorry I looked. I disrespected your privacy. No, I don't blame you for looking. You would have at least needed to check if it was mine. Yeah. Monica takes a deep breath. Okay. I understand that you don't want me to worry. And I think I'll be able to put this aside so that we can move on. But, can you promise me something? Promise you what? Monica pauses to collect her thoughts. This is the Literature Club. It's a place where people can express themselves in the ways that life normally doesn't allow them to. That's the vision. In fact, it's our vision. Right the way into your heart, or whatever. So, I just want you to promise me that you'll remember that too. It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be here for you when you need it. I don't like the way my light is flickering. You're not hot. Oh God, I've ruined everything. I knocked over my switch. Oh no! It doesn't have to be right now, but I want to be here for you when you need it. I want us to be ourselves like that. Sayori gently smiles. I'll promise if you promise. Unable to help it, Monica returns Sayori's smile. I promise. Me too. As the conversation closes, the mood in the room is lifted. With that behind them, it's time to proceed with the club activities. So, wanna teach me about poetry? Huh? But what about recruitment? It's fine. We have plenty of time for that. But right now, I feel like I want to do this. I mean, I do have to fulfill my end of the promise, you know. Yeah, yeah. There's no way I could say no to that. Just don't expect much. I do a lot of writing, but it's not like I'm a scholar or anything. That's for you, Pyro Knight. That's fine. I think I just need, some motivation. I never know where to start when it comes to writing poems. Starting isn't so hard. You kind of just need to write down your feelings and see where it takes you. Yeah, but that wouldn't come out any good. It's not supposed to. You're gonna have to fight your perfectionist mind on this one. Yeah. You can just start by writing your feelings and see what kinds of things it makes you think of. And then you can turn your feelings into a little story. You can get your feelings down first, then make it sound pretty later. It's not like building a railroad where you go from one end to the other. It's more like a collage where you find all the things you want to put in and then you arrange them in a pretty way. At least, that's how I do it. It's not like it's the only way. But it's a really good way to not get stuck right at the beginning. I understand. Yeah. I always get so caught up in how it sounds that I forget about what's actually important. Monica pulls out a pen and paper to start writing on. Stop being a perfectionist, you idiot. I'm just kidding. Monica scribbles out "you idiot" after she writes it down.
No! Keep it!
What? Why? Are you calling me an idiot?
Of course not! Maybe. But the point is that you're not supposed to police your feelings, right? Be as dramatic as you want.
But I was just... Well, yeah. Underneath the scribble, Monica rewrites "you idiot." She stares at the paper. Her words stare back at her. It's kind of funny how I wrote down what I'm mad at myself for, and then I did the exact thing anyway. This is really gonna take some getting used to.
I believe in you.
Thanks. I do too. Me, I mean. But also you, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Monica continues the exercise, jotting down her thoughts. It's surprisingly quite a struggle to write without overthinking it. But after a while, with Sayori's guidance and encouragement, Monica's sheet of paper begins to look fairly lively, peppered with all of her random thoughts. Phew! Monica looks up and down her sheet. Gosh, I feel so tense looking at this. I hate it, but it's also kind of liberating.
Mm-hmm. I can tell how hard you're trying. It makes me happy. I think you'll be good at writing poems.
Oh, don't give me too much credit. I'd have to try really, really hard at it. But I think it's something that I'll enjoy doing. With you. Sayori beams. I'll stop here, but we still have time. Let's try to work on a new flyer for the club. I won't be so picky about the language.
Yay, let's do it!
Monica and Sayori proceed with their work. With each passing day, the two of them become more confident in the club. Not simply from their recruitment planning, but from their vision as well. As their bond strengthens, so does the essence of the literature club. Finally, they begin to truly feel it's only a matter of time before they find more members. Another day passes. As usual, Monica is the first one in the clubroom. With her is a printout of the revised literature club flyer, complete with all the new ideas Monica and Sayori came up with. If only this was the flyer we gave to the one reading the girl the other day. What did I just say? If only this was the flyer we gave to that one reading girl the other day. It's so much more attractive than the old one. But the new catchphrase is featured clearly in the center of the flyer. Write the way into your heart. Surely common sense would say one writes from the heart, not into the heart. But the message being delivered is that one can use writing to discover themselves. Hopefully, Monica and Sayori had thought that it would be enough to garner some curiosity from students. Why do I feel so tense looking at this? Monica thinks back to the previous meeting when she performed the writing exercise. Was I always this bad at expressing myself? How am I supposed to be president if I can't even demonstrate what the club is supposed to be about? The literature club is truly beginning to take form. But with that, the weight on Monica's shoulder only becomes heavier. Debate club was always about rigid structure, formulating airtight points and counterpoints and delivering them with conviction. It was about the person on the outside. That's why Monica was so good at it. It existed entirely within her realm of comfort. It's suffocating. I need to break through this mental wall. I need to learn to express myself. For real. Monica pulls out a sheet of paper and grabs her pen. She presses the tip of the pen firmly against the paper. But her hand doesn't move. Instead, a tiny blot of ink collects around the tip of her pen. Monica lifts her pen and stares at the little blotch. For some reason, she feels compelled to run her finger across it. As she does so, the black ink smears across the paper, ruining Monica's canvas. Out of spite for herself, Monica presses her tin pen down once again, letting the ink collect. She creates a second smear on the paper. Come on, Monica. Just move your hand. Monica writes, "This is what I get for seeking perfection. A stain." I like that though. I like that. I don't need a screenshot. I have them on the game. Monica slides the paper away from her and puts her head down on the desk. The air conditioner seems louder today.
I'm here!
Hi. Monica hears Sayori approach the desk, then stops for a second, probably reading the piece of paper. Then she sits down in the adjacent desk.
Bad day?
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
You too.
The new flyer looks so good. You've been working so hard. On the club, but also something else, I think.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's so hard to just be vulnerable. Sayori takes the sheet of paper from Monica's desk. She writes something down, then stares at it for a while.
Can I trust you?
Of course. You can trust me with anything. Sayori gazes at Monica with sadness in her eyes. Understanding the signal, Monica takes the paper from Sayori's desk and reads it. This is hitting a bit harder than I thought it would. Sometimes I want to die. Sayori.
This is really, really hard for me.
Her voice shakes.
So if I can do it, then you can too. Because you're like 1,000,000 times better than me.
That's completely not true. Sayori takes a deep breath, trying to steady herself.
That's something about me that I've never told anyone before. Even now, my head is, like, screaming at me to stop.
Wait, you don't have to force yourself. I mean, just because of the promise yesterday.
I want to. It just feels right. I mean, maybe it's part of the reason I came to this club in the first place. This is the literature club. I trust you more than I'm scared.
At those words, Monica stands up. Sayori must have taken days to work up the courage for this. Were Monica's own futile but genuine efforts actually the push that Sayori needed? Sayori's deliberate breaths can be heard over the air conditioner. As she prepares herself to continue, Monica waits in gentle silence.
I have this problem where I get really upset when people worry too much about me. I can't control it. It's like, why waste your energy worrying about me when you can just be happy instead? So, I never tell anyone about these kinds of thoughts that I have. It's so much easier to just smile and help everyone else be happy.
But that's terrible. That's what Monica wants to say, but she stops herself in fear of saying the wrong thing.
It's just that if everyone knew about it, they wouldn't treat me the same anymore. Like, whenever I'm not smiling, everyone would worry about me and ask me what's wrong. I know that, because it used to be like that.
Sayori pauses, seeming to recall something in the past.
I just want everyone to be happy. That's the most important thing to me. And letting people look inside my head doesn't bring happiness to anyone.
Sayori pauses again, her solemn expression making her look almost like an entirely different person. How did you find the courage to tell me this? You're not worried that I'll be one of those people too?
I am worried. Part of me really hates myself for doing this. But another part of me, I think, just felt like it would be different this time. Whenever we talk about what the club is supposed to mean, I kept feeling like it was right for me to do. Especially after you've been trying so hard to express yourself too. It just made me feel like I could say it in confidence, and our friendship doesn't have to change. Yeah, it's so silly. The club is only 2 people, but it already means this much to me.
Monica feels a tightening sensation in her heart. A feeling of connection as Sayori's emotions radiate between them. Me too. I was so lost until you showed up. You're so brave, Sayori. You're so strong and brave. I don't even compare. Monica steps forward. But if nothing else, I can at least offer you some hug energy, if you'd like. Oh, it's beautiful. I can't ruin this moment. Wordlessly, without a smile, Sayori rests her forehead on Monica's shoulder. Through her contact, Monica can almost feel the torrent of thought swimming in Sayori's head. And in this moment, enchanted by the air of the club, Monica realizes that all of the days that have passed, this is the one where she really, really hopes that nobody new walks through the door. She speaks softly. You're like the sweetest girl I've ever met. You can say anything. I'll never judge you. I promise. Sayori's breaths begin to quiver. She takes several deep breaths, trying as hard as she can to start speaking, to say the things she never once dared to say out loud. Finally, she speaks in a choked voice.
I'm so worthless. I'm worthless, and everyone would be better off without me.
She suppresses a sob as a tear falls down her cheek.
I'm just an inconvenience to everyone. I'm not good at anything, and it just feels like everyone just has to put up with me. And I hate it. I hate it.
The more Sayori speaks, the more she fails to control her voice, falling victim to the overwhelming sadness clutching at her throat and chest.
I don't want to have these thoughts. I want them to go away. And now I'm making you put up with me, and I just want to die.
As soon as Sayori loses her composure, Monica becomes determined to keep her own. She only wants to be what Sayori needs right now, so she won't let any sadness show. Her voice comes through as soft and gentle. This isn't putting up with you. It's just being your friend. Monica offers a few words of comfort, but she knows, Sayori said it herself, that the thoughts Sayori experiences are ones that don't belong, and Monica can't magically make them go away. The most she can do is help Sayori battle them, like any good friend would do. You have so much value, to me and your other friends too. This club wouldn't have been the same without you. I really mean that. You coming here was the best thing that could have happened. Even if we never got any other members, I would still be happy. That's what brought you here. You brought us a vision, and you also brought happiness. And that's your favorite thing to do, right? Sayori doesn't respond, but Monica feels her gently nod. No more words are needed between them.
The two share their embrace for a while longer, Monica letting Sayori take as much time as she needs. Once her breathing steadies and her sniffles fully cease, Sayori lifts her head and wipes her eyes. I guess I needed that. Some days are harder than others. Well, I'm here whenever you need me. But any other time, I'll make sure that things are the way they usually are. If that's what makes you happy. Mm-hmm. Thanks. You're the best. No, you are. The two exchange smiles. You know, I'm sorry to bring this up all of a sudden, but have you considered talking to a professional? Sayori nods. It's scary, since it's already so hard to tell people. Yeah. Well, of course it will always be your choice, but if you're ever looking to find the courage for it, I can do my best to help you. Thanks. I think it helps knowing that you would. Sayori suddenly yawns and stretches. Oh, wow. That made me tired. And hungry. Well, I won't make you do any work today if you're not up for it. No, I want to. I mean, I can say that it's definitely one thing that makes me happy. Monica smiles. But I might want to get a snack first. All of a sudden, the sound of the door causes the two of them to turn their heads. The door opens halfway, then stops. A face peeks in. A face that seems familiar. No! We're done! Did I get the picture, though? Did I get the picture? I did. I got the picture. For the time being. Yes. Just for the time being. But wow. That was real. That was surreal. And I want to talk about that for a second. I do want to talk about what we read today. As someone who has suffered, I won't even say suffered, as someone who's been fighting with depression for a couple years now, I understand all of the things that Sayori said and all the way that she feels. While I do feel like I've gotten better, it's something that never really goes away. I still have episodes. I still have just random days where I can't go on. I hear voices telling me that there's no reason to go on. And the reason it's so scary is because it's not random voices. It's my voice. When you have episodes like that, it's your own voice, your own thoughts telling you that it's not worth going on. And back in high school and my second year of college, that's when it was at its worst. I have ways of coping now. I have plenty of friends who are there for me. Plenty of people I feel like I can talk to, and I feel comfortable talking to them, especially Diego, one of my best friends, my brother. I love him more than life itself. But that doesn't mean it's easy for everyone. And that's something that a lot of people have to acknowledge. Just because you found your solution doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone. My solution of calling Diego or just going to hang out with a friend, that might not work for everyone. Not everyone is strong enough, because the brain is a truly powerful utensil. When your brain tells you you're not worth it, it's hard to overcome those thoughts. It is a struggle for me to text my friends or go out and meet people when I have my episodes. But something gives me the strength to do it. I don't know if it's my shows, I don't know if it's the thought of my friends or something, but something gives me the power to overcome and reach out. That's why I'm very vocal about my depression. I know internalizing it, for me specifically, would make it worse. it would just make everything worse. I am incredibly vocal about my depression and my depressive episodes because I want people to know. I don't want them to know that I'm depressed. I want them to know that in case they're dealing with it, they're not alone. I'm right here. I'm dealing with the same thing. And even though the brain is super powerful, we can overcome it together. I believe that. Well, this wasn't a very cheery episode, but I'm glad we had this one. I'm going to now go through DDLC to unlock some more of the stuff by doing the stuff I did on the computer. And I'll see you guys next time with the next side story. And remember, there's always someone you can talk to. I'm not sponsored by them, but I truly believe BetterHelp is an amazing service if you just need someone to talk to. I love you guys. So, with that being said, I'm not even gonna plug. You guys have a good day and you take care of yourself, alright? Until next time, diddle out.